Today's 2-minute fairy tale is a spooky story of ghostly star-crossed lovers. It's called The Lovers of Porthenwartha, which means Lovers' Cove, set in Cornwall. A man and a woman are in love, but his parents are against the union, and so they send him off to a foreign country to separate them. At this cove, the lovers met for the last time before he left, vowed under the light of the full moon that living or dead, they would meet again in 3 years. The rest of this is told from the point of view of an old crone who is passing by this cove one night 3 years later. She sits on the edge of a cliff making her charms, which implies she is witchy herself. She sees a figure sitting on a rock near the ocean, and it looks like a maiden from the village. Well, the tide is rising and coming up like it's gonna swallow her. So the old woman tries to get down there, shouting and shouting for her to move. The maiden doesn't hear her, so she's trying to get down to her, and she has to pass by some rocks that obscure her vision for a little bit, and when she gets around them, the maiden isn't alone. There's a man sitting with her, his arms around her waist. The old woman assumes help has arrived, so she sits down, winded, and waits for them to both come up on shore so she can berate the girl, like, "Girl, what you doing?" So she sat watching the pair, lighted as they were on the black rock by a full flood of moonshine. The tide continues to rise around them, so the woman starts to freak out again and starts screaming to them. She thought she heard voices, but there were no sounds of terror. It sounded like doves singing, "I am thine, thou art mine, beyond control, in the wave, be the grave of heart and soul." And down, down into the sea passed the two lovers. Then the old woman says, "At last they turned around, looked me full in the face, and smiling like angels and kissing each other, sank to rise no more." The story ends by telling us the body of the young woman is found a day or two after, washed up from the water, and then news arrives that the man, who was still in the foreign country, had also been killed on that very night. For another spooky ghost story with revenge and romance, check out my reimagining of the 12 Dancing Princesses, Dust Spells, and of course my podcast. All the links are in my bio.